He was on a beach, in paradise. The sun was out, his daughter was laughing, his wife was just a few feet away. But within minutes, everything would turn to chaos. He was known to millions as the heart and soul of a beloved American family. He wasn't just a TV star, he was family to us all. But now, his real family is grieving, and fans around the world are stunned by what happened. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the actor who brought Theo Huxtable to life, has died. And the way it happened is almost too cruel to believe. This wasn't just a celebrity death, this was personal. And what makes it even more haunting? His final words to his fans. Just days before it all ended, he posted something that now feels chilling in hindsight. Before tragedy struck, Malcolm-Jamal Warner had already lived a life most could only dream of. He was just 14 years old when he stepped into the role that would change his life forever. Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show. For 8 seasons, America watched Malcolm grow up on screen. He was the funny, awkward, sometimes rebellious middle child who always had a lesson to learn and a heart to show. Every week, millions of households tuned in not just for laughs, but for connection. And Theo, he was the one we related to. He didn't have superpowers, he wasn't a genius or a prodigy, he was just real. He messed up, he learned, he tried again. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner played him with a sincerity that made audiences feel like they were watching a real person, not a character. Behind that million-watt smile was something most people never saw. Fame, especially young fame, is a double-edged sword. Malcolm was thrust into the spotlight while most kids his age were still trying to figure out high school lockers. He once said, "The show gave me an incredible opportunity, but it also forced me to grow up fast." He didn't have a normal teenage life. There were no proms, no part-time jobs, no awkward first dates. Instead, there were interviews, red carpets, and the constant pressure of staying relevant. While other kids were learning who they were, Malcolm had to become who the world needed him to be. And yet, he did it gracefully. No scandals, no public meltdowns, no spirals, just steady, thoughtful growth. He went on to become a director, a musician, a poet, and an activist, proving he was never just Theo, he was always something more. And that's what makes this so devastating. He wasn't a troubled star, he wasn't lost or reckless, he was happy. He was with his family, his wife and young daughter, on a peaceful beach vacation in Costa Rica. But peace turned into horror within seconds. According to Costa Rican officials, Malcolm was caught in a sudden rip current. He was pulled under, struggling against the force of the sea. Bystanders rushed in. Lifeguards dove toward him. His wife screamed for help. They got to him, pulled him out, but by the time they reached the shore, it was too late. No pulse, no breath. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was gone, just like that. At 54 years old, his life, his journey, was cut short. Authorities later confirmed the cause of death: asphyxia by submersion, a tragic accident, a powerful current, and a heartbroken family now left to pick up the pieces. Just a few days before his death, Malcolm posted something to Instagram. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't promoting a show or a brand. It was a quiet, thoughtful message, one that now hits like a punch to the chest. Just want to remind you, as I remind myself, no matter what's going on, there is always a reason to smile. Peace and love, I'll be back soon. Let that sink in. I'll be back soon. That's what makes this so haunting. He believed there was more life ahead. He believed he'd be back. But fate had other plans. Fans now flood that post with broken hearts and crying emojis because none of us were ready to say goodbye. It's easy to remember Malcolm as Theo, but he worked hard to become so much more. After The Cosby Show ended in 1992, many child stars faded away, but Malcolm reinvented himself. He starred in shows like Read Between the Lines alongside Tracee Ellis Ross. He directed episodes of major TV dramas. He released spoken-word poetry albums that touched on identity, racism, and resilience. And in 2023, he launched a powerful podcast called Not All Hood, where he interviewed guests about the reality of Black life in America, breaking down stereotypes and sharing untold truths. He never chased headlines, he chased purpose, and people noticed. Hollywood peers often described him as wise beyond his years, grounded, kind, quietly brilliant. He once said in an interview, "I got my head on straight. My soul and dignity are intact. I've had a really wonderful journey." And now, that journey is over. As soon as the news broke, social media exploded. Shock, grief, disbelief, Celebrities, fans, journalists, they all said the same thing. No, not Malcolm. Tracy Ellis Ross posted a heartbreaking tribute. "My heart is so sad. You made the world brighter. Rest in power, brother." Bill Cosby's team, though silent for years, shared a rare statement overnight. Malcolm was always the one embracing relationships with everyone he worked with. He made us proud. Even people who hadn't watched The Cosby Show in years felt the impact. Because Warner wasn't just a celebrity, he was part of our story, a constant face in a changing world. One of the reasons Malcolm's death hit so hard is because he wasn't flashy. He wasn't chasing clout. He wasn't caught up in drama or controversy. He lived a quiet, meaningful life and gave back more than he ever took. He mentored young actors, he spoke at schools, he championed Black voices behind the camera. He stayed out of tabloids. Some stars burn fast and fade, but others leave behind something stronger. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was more than a child actor, more than a TV icon. He was a symbol of growth, of grace, of possibility. He showed an entire generation that being yourself, even in the spotlight, was enough. And even now, after death, his voice echoes. There is always a reason to smile. So today, as the world mourns, we remember the laughter, the lessons, the legacy. Rest in peace, Malcolm. You'll always be our brother.